Welcome to the channel. So question for you, what does one do when they can't work on any of their other projects? They buy another project. That's what I did. So what I have behind me is a 1991 Ford F-150 XLT Lariat. Now I bought this truck because it has the V8. The only thing I don't like is the fact that it's EFI, but either way, I'll live with it. It'll eventually be changed. It doesn't have that many kilometers, I think 130 something thousand kilometers, which is great for something that's a 91. It was in a rollover, but it was a light rollover. It kind of just damaged the roof, the doors, and some of the fenders, but the frame, no issue. So I'm going to go through that a little bit just to make sure everything is good and that I'm happy with everything. And I do have a few other little things to work on just to make sure that it's at least in running and good condition for me to be happy with. And then eventually I'll work on some of the bigger projects. But for now, let's just take a look at this truck. Well, isn't that beautiful? Got an F-150, a U-Haul truck, another F-150. This is definitely one of the heaviest loads I've ever towed, and you can definitely tell that it was there. It's one of those things where you kind of got to ride it out when it starts bouncing or when it starts moving from side to side. But I'm glad I'm here. Now, the only problem is I have a dead battery, and I mean completely dead, so I got to take care of that. Oh, I didn't close the door properly. That's what the red light is, if you can see that right there. Oh well, I'll fix that in a second. Surprised it's actually working. And not only do I have a dead battery, but I have a flat tire. And so far, that's some of the major things that I can see right now. I do have some spare tires in there, but we'll go through that at a later date. For now, I'm going to just try and hook it up to that and yank it off the trailer. All right, got it attached there. All the straps in the back are off, and also the straps up in the front. So let's just see what happens. Well, it looks like I forgot to hit the record, but anyway, I wasn't able to pull it off because my main truck here is stuck on ice. Great. I'm gonna have to go get my tractor. Hopefully it starts. As you can see, it did move, so that's where the tire was originally. All right, not too bad there. Okay, yeah, it worked. Whew. All right, it's getting dark. I'm tired. Truck is off the trailer. Trailer is hitched back, ready to go. I got to return it. I'm going to take a break, get something to eat, and then bring that. But I'll bring you back to show you the truck. You know, overall, for a 30-plus-year-old truck, it's not too bad. I mean, it's got stuff that you can expect. One of the biggest things that I have to do kind of right away is this tire holds no air anymore. It's actually kind of destroyed itself while we were trying to load it on the trailer and whatnot. So definitely not going to even test that with any air at this point. And as per usual, I think most Fords, or at least of this era, they tend to have issues around the wheel wells. I think it's because of this chrome tends to hold a lot of water and moisture and junk. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them or remove them, but I'll find out later. At some point, I definitely want to get in there, kind of grind all this stuff down and find out what the deal is, see what the damage is. And this right here is the color combination before the change of the cab from the rollover. It's kind of a dark gray with the black. I'm not sure if the black was original. I think it might have been put on later, but I'm not 100% sure. And then the previous owner found pretty much the same cab he had on it before the accident. And it was kind of, I guess, of a white or a cream color. Rear bumper is pretty good. The only thing I see is this right here. I'm not sure if it's just chrome peeling or if there's something going on the backside, but that'll have to be looked at later on. If I have to fix that for whatever reason because it's seriously damaged, I might actually just go ahead and repaint the bumper, but we'll see when that time comes. I don't know yet. This side, same thing. It's got the fender issue, it's got holes and rust and stuff, same as the other side. And I think when we were trying to move it or something, we might have tapped the window button and the battery was kind of low, so it didn't want to really go back. I'm not sure exactly when or how that happened, but I just put some clear tape because there's about an inch open there, and it's snowing here and it gets pretty nasty, so I didn't want anything to get inside. This bumper seems to be okay too. I'm not sure if it's bent or if it's just crooked, but either way, it's not in bad shape. I think it might just be crooked. It looks like this side is a bit higher. Let's take a look on the inside. Honestly, for a truck that is, I don't know, 30 plus years old, it's a 91, it's in pretty good shape. I mean, I think I might be the third owner. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I was told, which is pretty amazing. I think most of the vehicles I've owned have been owned by several other people other than the truck that I bought brand new. But there's some stuff in here. There's stuff behind the bench, and at some point I'm going to go through it. The only thing that I would like to do is I actually have an issue with the key cylinder. It does work. There's no issue there. It just doesn't have that, you know, that typical springy feeling that you get when you turn the ignition key to the start position and back to the run. It just doesn't have that. So I got to look into how to open this up and take a look at that. Maybe it just needs greasing. Maybe it's just a spring. Maybe it's just something that's damaged. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to look into that. I do know that this vehicle was sitting for a couple of years, I guess just during the time that he was putting the truck back together, and then, you know, life happens and stuff gets moved along. But it doesn't smell in here and it's pretty clean. Just got to do some of the work, like this panel here. I got to put that back on. Right now it's a mechanical window opener, but I do have the electric one. I don't know if the motor works, so that's another thing to figure out. So that's on the to-do list. Kind of forgot there, but it does have the original tape deck, which I think is kind of cool. Although eventually I think that's going to change and I'll probably put in a proper sound system. But hey, who knows? Still pretty original. Not much modified. It's a pretty good, cool little truck. So one of the first things I think I'm going to do is actually just get it back to being a decent roller. I'm going to swap out that tire there. There are a bunch of spares and stuff like that in there, so I'll be using one of them. I think this one is a match in terms of rim, which I guess is really not that important at this point, but it seems to be holding air, but I'll double check that. There's a bunch of stuff in there too, and we'll take a look at. That door, it has all the motors and stuff that I need for this door to make it match the other door. So I'll also have to do that at some point. All right, put my snow pants on, get ready to do this. There's a tire in the back of the bed. Same size, different brand, doesn't matter. I don't know about you guys, but I always find that I have a hard time jacking up these vehicles. I don't know why. Any one of them that I have just seems to be a problem. It's always like a weird labor. Ugh. And then you get problems trying to get a lug nut off. Might not be the right size. You know, you buy like an expensive kit for your impact set, and it misses some of the sizes. I don't know why. Whew. Actually, wasn't sure if that was going to come off easy. You know how they stick sometimes. Ugh. Everything looks pretty good in here, so I'm happy to see that. Looks like it's not that old. The struggle is real. Where's that bolt? Dang it. There we go. Whew. All right, now I gotta get some air. Tires off, and this is what happens when you don't run air in your tires. It comes off the bead. There's the new one installed and on the ground. All right, got the new battery. I'm gonna just pop that in. I'm not really gonna go crazy and secure it, but I'll at least kind of lock it in place, so to speak. It is a Walmart battery. It's kind of the cheapest one that I could find in the area, and that was kind of in stock and available, because you know these days every dollar counts. Oops, put it on backwards. Okay, it's in. It's not fully secure, but hey, doesn't matter. Now I want to go ahead and actually change these terminal connectors, just because they're pretty beat up. So that's the positive and the negative, and you can kind of see they're all chewed up. So I want to separate this one, clean the terminal, then I got to get my cutters and break that apart. Alright, so like I said, I just changed the battery terminal connectors. It came with these little felt things. I mean, I don't think I really need them, but I have them. Thought I'd put them in. I'm probably going to lose them later, but either way, they're there. Now, the ground wire had quite a bit of corrosion. I used just a wire brush to clean it up. The positive wasn't too bad, but I did the same thing anyway. So let's see if it's actually going to start with the key. Got the key in the ignition. I think it's in park. Let's see what happens. Wow. It's been sitting for 2 weeks since I got it. Well, that looks pretty good. Awesome. Sweet. Feels so good. It's got maybe about 1/8 of a tank of gas. Looks like it's charging. Temperature is, well, 0. And oil pressure seems to be pretty good. I'm just going to let this idle and warm up, and then I'm going to move it into a spot where I can kind of work on it a little bit easier and get access to tools a lot quicker. Well, dang it, I forgot to hit record when I moved it over here. Oh well, but as you can see, she's running. She's in a different spot. Although hard to tell because it's pretty much wooded everywhere around here. But she's doing good. Idling great. Lights, well, the headlights are working. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should do that while I'm here. Nothing in the tail lights right now. Let me turn the light switch on. Actually, wasn't expecting those to work, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, the indicator lights are working. They weren't on before. And tail lights are working also. Don't really have anyone to test the brake lights, but let's try the 4-ways. Yep, that's working here. Also working back here. Great. So far so good. Oh, even the tail lights are working. Awesome. Oh, one's burnt out. Oh well. Won't complain there. While I was in here, I also played with the radio and the heating. And I know that the heating worked, but it works really good, and the radio also works. Ooh, not much power, but it works. All right, so you can tell it works. Tape deck sort of works, or not. It's looking for something. Oh, yeah. There we go. tape came with the truck, which is fun. But yeah, overall, pretty happy. It's idling at maybe about 600 RPM, somewhere around there. And all the temp seems to be climbing. Oil pressure staying the same. Battery charge staying the same. Looks good. Oh, I also checked the wipers, and they work. That's the slow mode, and then here's the fast mode. Little motor's making quite a bit of noise, but hey man, it works. Well, I shut off the truck and went back to try and start it, but for some reason it didn't seem to charge the battery, so it kind of drained it. But I'll actually just get back to that a little bit later. I might do something with the alternator or wiring and just kind of check what's going on there and then get back to you on that. Just another thing to add to the list. But for now, I actually kind of want to empty the bed of this pickup and see what's in there. I just kind of want to remove all the tires and kind of see what sets we have back there and if there's any other goodies. All right, plenty of little treasures. Actually, very usable stuff. I'm going to start here with the wheels. I think this was a spare because it's just a steel gray painted rim. There's nothing fancy about it. It looks like it has full tread and it's a Firestone if I'm not mistaken. And then we got these, I don't know if these are called like D or something like that, or maybe there's another name, but I know there's like a 10D type style. These four are all chrome and they're all this shape and style. What I found interesting is that two of these, this one here and this one here, they're actually drag tires. They're Goodyear drag tires, Eagle tires or something like that. Yeah, you can see it there. So I'm not sure what someone was doing with that, but still pretty cool. Not sure if I'll keep those tires or not, but they kind of would make a nice little showpiece. And then two extras of these. These are like your standard truck type looking tire, or rim I should say. One of them is the one that you saw before, which was kind of blown out and didn't hold any air and came off the rim. Moving over here, we got a bunch of good time cans. A bunch of this molding too. I don't know if I'm actually going to put any of this molding back on. I might actually just keep it as a straight clean with nothing on the sides. I found a jack. I'm not sure if that's the original one that goes with it. I might just keep it with a truck and see what happens. I know there's some stuff under the hood that I could maybe see if it works with it. Got a blower motor. I'm assuming this one's completely dead, judging by the fact that it was thrown in the back of the truck. A spare tail light, which I think is great. It doesn't look cracked, obviously just filled with ice and whatnot, but it seems to be good. A weird hubcap. Don't know what it goes to or what it was from. Let's see. Doesn't really say. It's probably just a no-name big box store type brand. One thing that I was happy to find was these guys here. Now, two of them lost their center caps, if you will, and the other two still has them. It's this cross, it kind of looks like you know, if you had four-wheel drive or something, that's what it would be. Now, I know three of the four wheels has it. The fourth one doesn't have it, but I think maybe the screws are kind of stripped out and stuff like that, so that's why they didn't put it back. I'll have to find out. Either way, still really happy about this. This is a good find. I was really looking forward to finding these and hoping and glad that they are there. This is the door that I need to take the electricals out of and replace it on the passenger side. As you can see, it's pretty damaged. Well, maybe you can't see it because the snow is kind of hiding it, but it's definitely not straight, and that mirror is pretty banged up. And last but not least, we got a gas can. And I think that's great. I use these a whole lot, although I think it's missing a piece, so I might have to find something for that. But until then, it'll just hang out, and I'll get to it at some point. Now, there's still stuff back there, but you know, like this wire here, I'm actually just going to take that out and throw it out. I have no idea what it's for. And there's some garbage back there, which is typical in most pickups. But for now, because of the snow and most of the stuff is still frozen, I don't want to step on stuff just in case, you know what, just in case I find something else like this, I don't want to step on it and crack it and break it. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. Found this little Nerf style bat. Thought that was kind of funny. All right, so pretty much emptied everything that I wanted to out of the bed. I mean, I don't really want to shovel or do anything because there's probably still some little things in there. Like when I was cleaning up some of the snow, I found these two containers. They're filled with water. I hope I don't have a leak, but I guess I'll find out in time. But other than that, most of the stuff is just out. I was taking a look at the bed, and I also noticed when I was trying to close the gate here that this part of the bed is, I don't know if it's bent in or if just this has been pushed in. Like you know, like the metal just kind of shifted, because there's no gap and it does bang on it a little bit when I try to close it. As you can see here, this one's got a good gap all around. I also noticed just this little piece back here. It's actually a really nice piece and it's in good shape. I figured that stuff would kind of crack over time. But I think that what's happening is that some of the pieces are a little bit broken on the back, and that's what's allowing this little gap here. So just another thing to the list. But overall, like, other than the wheel wells or the wheel arches, whatever you want to call it, this bed's not in super bad shape. I mean, obviously, let's, you know, always take things into consideration. This thing is 30 something years old, so it does have its nicks and dents, but for the most part, I don't see anything, well, other than not being able to look at the bed, I don't see anything that terrifies me. Like, even including this here, like, this stuff doesn't bother me. This is not really any kind of serious issue, although I do want to fix this at some point, but hey, whatever. All right, I'm going to get a plastic bin and we're going to get inside the cab. All right, let's see what goodies we find in here now. That's my license plate. I'm just going to put that there for now. Loctite SF790. Homing action lifts off gaskets in minutes. Okay, never tried that. A bunch of little things in here. Looks like somebody went to a swap meet. So these are those like little valve, sorry, not valve. It does connect on the valve, or at least screw onto the valve, but it's just those spark plug wire holder. Kind of keeps it out of the way. It says Ford Motorsport. It's here for a 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder. I got a good bunch here. That's pretty cool. I'll definitely use that. Got the fuse panel cover. Let's keep that down here. Let's check what's behind the seat. Oh no, it's a full bench. Oh, I gotta take the bin out. Well, actually here. So this is part of the other door. I have to install that. Here's all the electrical and whatnot. The door card or skin or whatever. Got these stupid masks. One of these little like feet things. I always find these funny. They're kind of cool too. It just goes on the high beam, low beam. All right, what's behind the seat? Oh, cool. Old New Brunswick license plate. Nice. Okay, let me actually just pull this stuff out. All right, that's all I can reach. There's cool Ford mud flaps. That's really neat. Some visors. This one actually has a little Ford pin on it. I mean, how cool is that? So got the wheel arch covers. I think these ones belong in the front, but clearly they're pretty chewed up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put these back on. Same thing with the back one. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them or just pull them off. I think I'm most likely just going to pull them off. They just collect water and junk and stuff and then rust the body. And then here, I'm not sure what this is, but I think it's window tint. Yeah, so it's window tint 2.5%. All right, I gotta go to the other side to grab some of the stuff. Well, found a 1/2" 5/8 socket. That's pretty cool. A kick panel on the passenger side. Or it says power steering cap. Okay. Dorman OE Solutions window motor gear kit. Oh, that's cool. That might come in handy. Adventurer CD player. Wow. Okay. Don't really know that brand, but I don't think it's high end. Then got these Napa Response gas charge shock absorber. These are for the front because I saw a bill somewhere. It looks like it has all the hardware. Yep, all the hardware. Good stuff. Might change the ones in the rear too. Sweet. And I think that's it. I mean, I checked under the seat. The seat's in good shape. There's no mouse stuff underneath there. Did also notice this. It has the original, like, I think it's original. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't seem to say Ford on it, but it's that carpet that goes all the way across. That's awesome. And it also came with these little cat ones. These are pretty good too. Why don't we go check the glove box? All right. Well, not much in here. Oh, door lock kit. That's cool. Oh, if I had known, I wouldn't have bought new ones. There's one. Some knobs. You knob. Actually, these are good for backup if they still work. There's some chrome ones installed, but these ones are just flat black. Huh, good. No complaints there. Not for me, anyway. Wow, actual crazy glue. Not the dollar store stuff. Ooh, all the emblems. Nice. Yeah, very happy with that. Cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to put them back on the truck. I'm going to talk about that later. Sweet. Already made some money back from this truck. Well, that's pretty much it. Nothing else left in there. Pretty basic stuff. Nothing fancy. A couple of parts, a couple of replacement things. Well, that's it in here. So that's pretty good. Check, does this open? Yeah, it works. See, manual, often pretty good. Although I will convert to electrical, provided that the door, the one I'm pulling from the door, is good. Well, I was taking a look at the alternator, trying to see if I could see a loose wire or something. I know that when I first tested it, like basically when I looked at it, we checked it and it did seem to be giving some voltage. So I'm not sure what's up. I did do a little tiny bit of research, and oftentimes this section here goes out of whack. It either overheats or tends to burn or do something. So I'm not quite sure what it might be. There's also a few other wires down here. I'm not sure if I'm going to change the alternator just yet. I'm going to do another test at some point and see if there's anything going on with that. I did have to charge the battery, so it definitely did drain, but it ran no problem, which is something I'm happy about. I mean, I'm just kind of looking around. I even looked down here just to see if there's something going on there or whatever. I'm not sure if this is normal, but definitely looks like it was spliced and then somebody added a few wires. I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe they were just too short or not good enough or something burnt. I don't know. I have no idea. For now, I'm gonna leave it like that, and once I get the battery back, I'll double check that alternator and see what's going on. Not sure why I didn't remove this sooner. I mean, it's really just hanging on by one rivet. It was bugging me for quite a while. Like I said, I have no idea why I didn't remove that first. Let me go ahead and do that. And voila, she's off. All right, let's get to talking about maybe some of the future things that I like to do with this. So, working on the exterior, since that's where we're at right now. I have some mirrors from that 92 that I found. I might swap them out and put them on here. I don't want to say I'm not a fan of these style mirrors, but I think because I have another pair that might fit there, they're, just from the generation after that, but they're pretty much based off of the same body. So I might try and see if I can swap them and do that. It'll look a little bit nicer. The reason why I kind of want that kind of look is that I do plan on kind of, okay, well, maybe not bags, but lowering it. Definitely want to lower this truck. I think it'll look good, just kind of give it a little of a stance and a nice just feeling to it. It's not really going to be a work truck, although it's still going to look like a truck, but I think, lowering it would be just a really cool thing to do on this truck. I may keep these rims. I may get rid of them and change them for something else. I'm not 100% sure. I'm really undecided on that. And one thing I do know is I want to go for fatter tires in the back, kind of give it a street racing look, but using obviously DOT tires, not racing tires. I also want to go ahead and if I'm lowering it, I might want to look into trying to get some of the suspension components and stuff to be a little stiffer, maybe give it some stability, handling, stuff kind of good for the curves and the mountains and all that good stuff. Basically just generally improving the handling capabilities. Now, as for the body, yeah, 100%, I'm going to repaint it. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick to this, gray and black tone. It does look good. I saw some pictures of it when it was like freshly washed and painted and cleaned or whatever, and it looked really nice. So I might kind of revisit that and keep it, or at least change the gray to maybe something else. I'm not 100% sure yet. Now, those lights that you see up there, those are definitely coming out. I know they work. They're really not a problem, just not the style that I'm looking for. Now, this windshield has a bit of an issue. Well, now it's probably hard to see. There is that crack right there, and unfortunately it's full of snow here, but it is kind of delaminating. You can see it's getting foggy on this side, so I may have to change the windshield. And I did mention kind of painting the bumpers. I think I was looking at the back bumper. Yeah, this spot right here. When I was jacking it up to change the tire, I noticed that it is punctured and it does go all the way through. So if I was to fix this like by welding or something like that, then all this chrome here would go bye-bye, which means that I would have to do something. So I'm definitely thinking about repainting this just because of that. Other than that, I think the bumper's in good shape, and I think painting, you know, might just give it a different look rather than chrome. I don't mind chrome, but sometimes when there's too much of it, it just throws me off. And I guess that's gonna be pretty much it for the outside. I don't really plan on changing any of the lights. I had thought about changing the rear lights, but you know, this solid red with the white reverse light, I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna leave it like that. Front lights, can't really do much there. There's not really that many options, so that's gonna stay right there. Now, as for the interior, you know, I don't mind maroon. I think it's kind of cool, but I think because I want to change out this bench and go to buckets. I'm a bucket seat kind of guy. If I was just trying to keep this original or just kind of as a work truck or whatever, that didn't matter, I would leave the bucket seat. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not sure, again, if I'm going to keep the this color or do something else with it. It is hard to find maroon aftermarket parts, so who knows. But for sure, at least for a start, I'll probably do the bucket seats, maybe even the carpet. But we'll see at that point. That's definitely not something that's urgent. I also want to change the sound system. I mean, you saw that there's the original radio. It's a good old cassette deck, which I don't have an issue with. I mean, this one seems to work. It doesn't get good reception, but it seems to work. But, you know, I'm not like a huge music guy, but I do like music, especially on long road trips. It's nice to have a good, clean sound system. So that'll be definitely something that I look into. But I think that's about it for the interior stuff for now. Well, that's always fun. My phone just stopped recording. Great. Actually, I'm going to start from the back and then pull forward. So let's start with the differential. So right now it's an open diff. I can't remember the gears. It's probably a 3-something, but I'll have to check that at a later date. What I would like to do is change it to a limited slip of some sorts, just to give it a little extra traction and go power. For the exhaust, I'm definitely going to improve that, make it a little bit bigger. These ones go off to the side. I might shoot them out the back. I don't know. This truck does use the rear gas tank because the front gas tank is gone. I'll show you that at some other time. Increase the size of that exhaust and then possibly reposition it. And now for the transmission. Right now it's an automatic 4-speed. I'd like to change it to a 5-speed manual, which would probably mean changing the axle and all that clutch stuff and the pedals and whatnot. But that's definitely a project for later on. I really want it to be a manual 5-speed. It's kind of something I want with these cool V8s that Ford makes. As for the engine, it's going to be a big project. It's going to be a long-term project. But I mentioned I'm having issues with the alternator. I'm going to do a couple of tests, but if I find it to be problematic, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it to the one-wire setup, simplify everything, make it super easy. Now for the radiator and the fan, I want to switch to one of those aluminum ones, the larger ones. You know, something like Cold Case. I'm not sure if we're going to go with that brand, but just to give you an idea of what I'm looking for, and change that out. So the aluminum radiator with the electric fans, you know, maybe gain a few 5 horsepower or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Not looking for huge gains here, but just trying to, you know, minimize drag and try and make things a little simpler and easier on the engine. Now, the big thing on the engine. So right now it sits at an EFI. So electronic fuel injection. I kind of want to make this a little tiny bit of a hot rod, like an old school hot rod. So I want to change the engine, or the EFI I should say, to carbureted. These 302s, I think I mentioned it before, but you know, they've been around for decades, like a really long time. They're a really good platform. They're really easy to find parts for. So changing this to a carb will not be that hard. I want to change, obviously, the headers that go with the heads, because I want to get new heads, better flowing stuff. Obviously, the intake to go with that, and then the carb on the top. I think it'll look pretty cool and interesting in this type of truck. And I'm kind of excited about it. I think that's the best part of what I want to do on this thing. Really just trying to get into the bracket of maybe between 300 to 400 horsepower. I'm not looking to go super crazy. And with that horsepower is the reason why I want to improve the handling on this thing, just to make it a little bit more fun to, you know, throw around the corners and just give it a little style and some stance. And then maybe just do a paint job with that to kind of make it shine. But I will run the EFI for a little while I do all the other stuff. I'm not sure at what point I'm going to do the engine, and I'm not sure how far I'm going to go in this engine bay. Like, am I going to strip it all out, or am I just going to pull the engine? Again, not 100% sure at that point, but we'll see. We'll see. Some thoughts, some ideas. They're all flowing, but haven't made a concrete decision. Well, I hope you guys like the look around, or the new project that I'm working on. I mean, like I said before, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to do. It's a pretty big list. I'm going to work on the basics, make sure it runs, make sure it's, you know, safe for driving. And then once all that is done, then that's when the big modifications are going to come in. One thing, if you guys are interested, just post it in the comments. What do you recommend? What kind of brands do you think I should use? You know, where can I get some of this stuff? What are things I need to consider when I'm doing all of these things? At this point, this will be the first big project that I work on, if you don't include the 88 Thunderbird, but that's going to be a mega long project, and I'm not even going to rush that. But this one is running, so it'll be great. I can maybe get something going this summer. Who knows? Look, guys, I'm going to leave it on that note for this video. I'm going to shut it down right here, and I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thanks for watching, and take it easy.